Okay, so there was the power connection there. It's going to need, electrician to go through this whole thing, it looks like. I'm no expert, but that's more than likely what you're going to need. Oh, some wildflowers in the desert, and this is a nice masonry fireplace and chimney. And it's stucco wood frame. Here is a little bit of a den or a second bedroom. We've got a porch. Here's some outbuildings. And this is all on 5 acres. There's a nice house across the way there. Doesn't look like anybody's there right now, but that looks really nice. Nice fence, water tank, all of that. And there's the Bullion Mountains, the Cleghorn National Wildlife Area. So that is all public land to ride your horses or to hike out there. And it's a beautiful mountain range. Before we go inside, let's just see what some of the other utilities are, because at one time it did have septic. This might be the septic down here. Looks like there's something down there. And over this way, this looks like it was the plumbing to the bathroom. There's the kitchen. And here's the bathroom. So there is supposedly a well, and the equipment is gone, so I'm not sure where the well is. If there was a pump house, there's going to be some investigations for the buyers to look into for all of this. This is one of my favorite features, is you don't find many of these cabins with a traditional fireplace. Those can be expensive if there's any major damage to them, but you can always do an insert in there or other really energy efficient inserts. Could be pellet, could be fireplace, wood. There's a decent sized living room. I'm just looking through the window here, and you can see there's some stucco, but there's this nice big window. And what do you have a view of? You have a view of really pretty hills close to the marine base, which is right over that way. Okay, so this is going to take some investigation on the buyer's part to see what kind of water system, where the well was, what condition the well might be in, to get it back online, and the septic tank that's in the ground there somewhere. So here's one of these outhouses, and it looks like this could have been the well house. This looks like it's a strong structure for a water tank. It was once here at the property. And then this is possibly the old outhouse. There's a lot of these cabins. No, this looks like it's more of a little tool shed. Maybe a little closet or something. I don't see any pipes going down. There's something in the ground. There's a PVC pipe. Oh, now the sun's starting to hit the mountains. Look at that. Those are really beautiful mountain range, the Bullion Mountains. That's all government land. Go hiking, go horseback riding. Then their military base starts about there. Then all those hills back in there are part of the 29 Palms Marine Base. And if you can see way in the distance there, it's a little cloudy, there's Big Bear Mountain and Mount Gorgonio. Alright, so I'm not recommending any of the buyers to go in the property necessarily, because it is potentially hazardous and dangerous. But let's take a look and see what's going on with this little single family residency property here. So here's the back door. This could be a nice kind of extra room, maybe a dining room. Got a good closet here. No, it looks like this is the bedroom. This is the closet for the bedroom. And the toilet's missing. There was some plumbing there. There's the shower. Looks like it's got plumbing in there too. So this is a major fixer. That's why it's got such a nice price tag. Nice little kitchen. Down to the studs. Here's the front door. And some cabinets. Nice big window. This is one of my favorite features. These are very expensive to build brand new. You're lucky to get one, and California's making it harder to do fireplaces. So you're lucky if you can grandfather one in. And then there's this little room which could be a second bedroom. I just think that, yeah, maybe that little corner there would be good for a little dining table. And you can have your couches and your setup. Okay. I think this is a nice positioning for a sunroom deck. There's that little den. Because what's so nice about it is you have the Bullion Mountains right there on your deck. You get to look at these beautiful rugged mountain range. It offers kind of a feeling of getaway and escape. All right. Well, there's lots of advantages to this if you want to have horses and other animals. You'd have to get the new well, you'd have to get everything certified, electrician, roofing. I mean, this is a full job, and to do all this work, you'd probably have to bring a generator out here, and you have to look at the costs for what it would cost to, have some electricity to get the ball rolling on this major project. And there would have to be quite a lot of due diligence, because even though it's got a good zoning and it had utilities at one time, the owner doesn't know. You'd have to have an expert really look at everything to see what the total costs are. So there's a lot of due diligence involved in this. But it's 5 acres, really peaceful, really quiet. You're not too far from 29 Palms and then the Joshua Tree National Park. There's quite a lot of artists that are moving out to this area to kind of have that quiet getaway. A lot of retired folks out here. The big thing that's happening out in this area right now is tourism and kind of the rebound or the rebirth of homestead cabin enthusiasts, where in the 50s and 60s they were giving away 5-acre lots. All you had to do was put a little cabin on it or whatnot, and so that's why you have all of these homestead cabins. And it was a real prosperous time in America where people could afford to buy a Sears catalog cabin and put it up here, or this one's even more special because it's a single family residency. Whereas most of the other ones are zoned recreational cabins, so there's limited use you can do with those. The county looks at those more of like land with a couple utilities, so they're a little bit more restrictive on what you can do. That being said, so there's this homestead rebirth and that's going on, and then the biggest thing that's going on is there are very successful Airbnb designers, landlords, fixers that are coming out here making a cabin like this really beautiful and very lucrative with the tourism for the Joshua Tree National Park, which is at record levels. It's over 3 million visitors last year, and everybody wants a selfie on Instagram of them at Joshua Tree Park or at a cabin like this that's like really done up with a designer's touch and really cutesy. Or this would also be great because the Copper Mountain College is not so far away, for a family's second home, vacation home, that wants to put in the elbow grease and fix this up and have something that's, they could pay off relatively soon and get a lot of sweat equity built into it. And not to mention a place for the kids, the grandkids, if they want to, go back to school. There's the community college, or there's lots of online programs and online studying. So that's an asset that could potentially pay all sorts of dividends for a family that's large, that, maybe the grandkids might need to have some transition time and work on stuff, writing books or being an artist or going back to school or raising kids. This has a lot to offer. And it's being so large, you can always tell a family member, hey, yeah, come on down to the ranch. We'll set you up with a little trailer, or you could do the guest house on this. So there's a lot of potential. And on the south side, you'll see that little mountain range there. That's the Little San Bernardino Mountains with Joshua Tree Park. And way off in the distance is Big Bear Mountain and Mount Gorgonio. So you get to see snowcaps from your backyard. It's really nice. Okay, so we're at the north side of the property. This is where the 5 acres carries on to. All right, so we're at the north end of the 5 acres here, and it goes street to street. And there's BLM right over here. Is lots of BLM land, so you're not going to have neighbors there. And it's a nice flat usable 5 acres. You know, you could, as long as the county allows it, you could do all kinds of fun stuff with this and really make a big compound for the family. It's really an inspiring landscape. You can see why lots of artists like to come out here. Okay, so here we are at the Cleghorn Lakes, Bullion Mountains Wildlife Area. And there's private property here at, this is just right the edge. You can see this power line here. This is kind of the edge of it. And this is a vast wilderness. Doesn't look like it gets much off-road activity. But as you can see, this is just stunning. This is what you get when you buy a cabin in Wonder Valley, is you have this huge government land for everybody. And from what I can tell, it looks like it's really ideal for hiking and for horseback riding. Doesn't seem like it's much of an off-road area like Johnson Valley. But take a look at this. This is just stunning. Somewhere right over there on those mountains is where the military base ends, and the Cleghorn Wilderness begins with the Bullion Mountains. Look at these mountains. They are just stunning. Also to mention, it's a great place for snowbirds. We are still on the Sun Belt. We're not too far from the big cities in Southern California. And it is January 30th today, and there's negative degrees in places like Chicago and around the Great Lakes, and that's just awful. I'm from Chicago myself, and I probably wouldn't be able to handle that anymore, being a California guy these days. But this would be a great winter getaway as well for all the snowbirds that need that kind of relief and respite from those long cold winters in the East Coast and in the Midwest and you name it. Canada. So talk about peace and quiet and beauty. This place has it. Thanks for watching, everybody. I know it's a long video, but I just wanted to show you some special stuff out here and this wonderful property I'd be happy to sell you. Feel free to give me a call anytime. Patrick Schmidt at Sharon Realty. Thank you.